Hey guys, I'm back. Um, it's been a long time since, it's actually been quite a few months since I posted. Uh, if I remember correctly, I was doing something, doing a post maybe back in the middle of summer, maybe July, when I was talking about the new upcoming releases, or that I was talking about the new rulebook. And so basically, here's the thing: I haven't had been able to get a lot of games in, but I have been hearing some very good things about about the 40K rule book and also the indexes. But I did run. Wait, I did do the indexes, but basically the progress of the indexes and how things have, like with the releases of the codexes for everything that has been coming out. So far, we've got because basically, uh, Games Workshop just said that they were going to release 10 codexes, and so far, only 8 have come out. Well, no, 7 have come out officially. Uh, not Codex number 8 is going to be the Tyranids, which is going to come out in November. So that's going to leave 2 surprise codexes that are going to be coming out. So far, the way I see it is that we're likely going to be like one of the codexes I think is going to be the Blood Angels. Now, and also as you can, also one thing, it's like one of my viewers, I got a Space Wolf poster like a couple of months ago. I finally got a frame for it. Unfortunately, I put the frame in a bad place, and my lamp is kind of interfering with the view. But you can kind of see the shoulder pad. But so far, things have actually gotten pretty interesting. Um, one thing I mentioned with my an interesting thing I mentioned with my Facebook group, I realized this today that a lot of the background information about many of the factions that has been revealed in the core rulebook has kind of pretty much come true in the form of special organizations, like say the Astra Militarum. The Astra Militarum, they like all like the special regiments of renown. They basically used all of them, and the Adeptus Mechanicus, they use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7. The 7 Forge Worlds in the book, and the 8 regiments of renown for the Astra Militarum, and they did the Eldar. They did the Craft Worlds, and they did all the Craft Worlds that were mentioned in the book. So the way I see how this is going, this is for Space Wolves players, mostly. This is for Space Wolves players mostly. I feel that what's going to happen, because the thing is that a lot of us were really excited, or have been really excited, like wondering, oh, are they going to do the different great companies in the chapter? But I haven't even hear mention or read mention of the other great companies in the core rulebook, except for the 13th company. So it makes you wonder that why. So it makes me think that what they're going to do is that they're going to create. Basically, they're just going to do the Space Wolves chapter as a whole, and instead of like different great companies. But the only exception that they're going to do is the special 13th grade company, where it's like, okay, you have wolf lords and wolf priests and rune priests of the 13th company. They're likely going to have their own special. They're likely, now this is me. They're likely going to have their own special psychic powers, their own type of warlord traits, or their own special rules that allow them to pull any type of thing that they want. maybe. But the way I see it is that this is fall like everything here is falling kind of in place with what the rulebook has stated in the background. Like right now, we're seeing with Tyranids, we're seeing we're seeing quite a few of the hive fleets, but I feel that the Space Wolves chapter is not going to be as special as we wanted it to be. Like in the way of different chapter tactics, different company tactics. The way we had in Curse of the Wolfen, which was very good. I missed that. And sorry, I got dust in my eye. I moved my lamp to try and get the light off my poster. But what happens is that we're not like sorry, I lost my train of thought. But it shows that we have to see what's going to happen. We don't know where we're going to go, and because so far, if you look at your code rule book, and you see the Space Marine chapters in the Imperium section, you see Space Wolves, you see Grey Knights, you see Death Watch, you see Blood Angels. Now they mention the blood. Now with the Blood Angels, they mention the Black Rage. So what they're likely going to do is that they're going to do a death, the Death Company for the Blood Angels, and with the Dark Angels, what they're going to do is a Deathwing and Ravenwing special company type trait, and with with those type of stratagems. Now, Grey Knights we already have, which is out. They don't have special companies at all. But with Space Wolves, they have the Wolfen, and with the Wolfen, it's primarily the 13th Company. Now, if everyone remembers the Space Wolf lore, the 13th Company are not full blown. Most of the 13th Company are not full blown Wolfen. A lot of them are basically in between Space Marine and Wolfen states. They're semi Wolfen, if you want to go there, where they have all these special abilities, but they haven't like lost their minds. But they're incredible hunters. If you've read Wolf's Honor, it shows how amazing they are in combat. And also if you've seen if you've played the Eye of Terror campaign book, you could see how they have special traits that allow them to flash in and out of areas to kind of ambush their prey. But it's impressive at the way things have been going this year. Like 10 codexes in this year, so basically we've got 8 codexes that have been announced and that are and have already been released, or they're on the way. And now you've got and now you've got 2 surprise codexes, which are going to be very interesting. I can't wait to read them. And what's going to happen? And I like the idea that the thing is I'm playing it by book release because excuse me. But I'm playing it kind of like book by book release. By what I mean with Black Library. With Black Library, what they're doing is that in November they're releasing the Blood Angels book called The Devastation of Baal, which is the Space Marine Conquest book that talks about how Baal Secundus comes under siege by the Tyranids. So I would think this is going to be kind of a thematic release, because Games Workshop said that they're going to have all 10 codexes released before Christmas. So basically, I think November is going to be a dual release by having the Blood Angels be released by Codex. And then there is likely going to be a book coming out in December before Christmas, So they're gonna try to do something with that. Now I'm loving to see the new rule. I like the new rules. I like how people are utilizing Arak Rockfist, and I'm loving the thing. Oh, and let me tell you guys something. Here's the thing: when you're, and it's like I found it so interesting. I actually just I one time I just posted it on Facebook to the guy to some people, and it was like, oh, do you realize like how many of you have utilized the freedom to have multiple units inside of a transport? Now it's like now the thing is that Games Workshop mentioned it in their blog post, like in their community post months ago, but I've been scouring the rule book and there's no mention of it. It's so strange, and there's barely any mention of it, but it's legit. You can have basically take a Storm Wolf, which has a transport capacity of 16. You can take You can take 3 units in there. You can have 3 units of 5-man Blood Claws, or two, or like a Long Fang squad. You can actually have like you could what you could do, uh, 2 drop pods, and or 2 maybe 3 drop pods with squads of 5 inside of them, and a unit and a Terminator pack leader, and a Terminator Wolfguard battle leader to land in the middle of that. And you've got yourself like an instant firing line of say 2 Long Fang squads in 2 different pods, with their each one with a Wolf Guard or a Grey Hunters squad to back them up. And I just love how flexible they've made the game for a lot of characters. And believe me, when I saw the rules for the Astra Militarum, I was amazed. I mean, I was really amazed at how far they've made an army that basically you could turn into Swiss cheese in previous editions into an army that you really have to know what you're doing, which can make people see, which can basically people can fear, because it's like you don't want to go up against because a Acadian crew or a Mordian crew, and it just I kind of we people who have been wanting to see, like, okay, what about the Midgardians? And it's like, you know what, they should have Midgardians. Midgardia, the Midgardia was lost before Cadia, so they should have like, and Midgardia is basically a world that's been within Fenris for ages, so like Midgardia has kind of a fierce reputation themselves because they are neighbors with the Space Wolves chapter. So it's like I want to see some interesting stuff, and I'm trying like hell to get my stuff set before, because I know I promised myself to have all this done. But I hope you all have some interesting views and interesting stories to tell. So talk about it. Let me know if you want to talk. If you have any new interesting news. Have a good night.